Alright, welcome back. I'm Richard Painter. We're all over the place at the minute, so you have to. Oh, in fact, I need to turn that music off. There we go. Get copyrighted otherwise. So we've got a Nissan Micro bumper to get done today, and we've got 2 doors. We've got 1 repaired. Ford Transit doors, we've got 1 brand new. And annoyingly with Ford doors is they put the foam to protect the door, so then it leaves all the sticky residue. So tar and glue, give it a spray. It says on it, right? So again. So I'll let that do its thing. Like that. Got a sticker. Now what I will do is I'll just leave that for a minute or 2 just to soak in and soften the glue, and hopefully most of it will wipe off. Reason we're so busy is because we've got plenty of work, which is a good thing. But then we've been waiting on parts for other jobs to get them done, and then they've been trickling through. Half of them were wrong, and then nightmare. So we're slowly getting there. We've got new Volvo lorry there. So I'm talking to myself. That's in for a bit of paint. Just had a little bit of damage from the dock. It's brand new as well, which is unfortunate for them. So these doors that we're changing, you can see here. Have you noticed the big gap behind here? So you might even attempt to pull and mess around with that, but the door's shaped like a banana, so there's no point. You might have seen on a previous video the 4x4 Sprinter. I'm so used to filming in the it's really bright on the screen, so hopefully you can see what it is. So that's done, and then the guy was desperate for that, and then desperate, leaves it sat here a week. I ring him up, and then he's gone on holiday. So obviously not that desperate though. Again, we're waiting on this getting picked up. Showed that on a previous one as well. I think anyway. We've fully painted that. Again, just waiting on customer picking them up. A deer's hit this one. Ripped it all out. Yes, I did say oh dear. And then because it's split in 2 or 3 spots and completely ragged really, we've just got a new one which I've just shown you in the booth, so we'll get rid of that, so organise that as well. It's come unprimed in bare plastic as well, which is always a charming thing. Find the colour code for that and all in a minute. Right, so we'll get this glue cleaned off, and then we'll see where we go from there. So with the glue, everybody's got their own way of doing it, but I prefer using a bit of a red Scotch pad, to be honest with you, because most of it will pretty much scrub off. And then now the tar and glue's done its job. A bit more there, look. Oh, a couple more bits to do. So normally anyway, now the tyre and glue's done its job, you just, he says anyway, just get these scrubbed up. Come back for that bit in a minute. Yeah, and then basically, there you go, beautiful. Now basically we'll wipe all that down now, clean all that off. I'll scrub the door anyway with a preppy pad or a scotch. We'll get that hung up, and then we need to wet and wet it, which I'll explain that, and then we need to prep that other door, lay that one down. We'll stand this one up because I need to paint both sides of this, and we'll get organised and come back, and then that'll be the doors done. And then later in this video we'll do the bumper as well, because then we've got two jobs out of the way then, haven't we? So, right, I'll be back. Right, many interruptions, and a day later as far as you're concerned, or I'm concerned, should I say. So the doors are on and painted. I don't know why it's so bright out here. I don't know if we can do it with them settings. But you get the idea anyway. Hopefully you can see that. So basically I've just chucked it on. It's not built up or anything, just ran the wire through quickly. This door's back on as well. This one was laid down. That's the old one. You can see on these, they're all cracked. Basically what happens is, you can parcel force or use it last. Basically what happens is they fill them up full of parcels, but they don't strap anything down, any cargo nets or anything. So that door's actually bowed outwards. I don't know why that's overexposed on it. Something in the settings, no doubt, I need to figure out. Come back inside. Yeah, so something's hit it from the inside. Whether they've pulled off or something. Just let me just pause that. Yeah, so they're done now. We've still got the bumper to do. I just didn't get a chance yesterday. We spent the afternoon pretty much prepping this, getting this ready. Going to paint this morning. Now ordinarily I'd have taken an awful lot of this off and painted it off, but we're on a very strict time constraint, so we spent a couple of hours masking. We could have done with an extra day and a half on it really, but we're bank holiday weekend coming up and they need it, so it's is what it is really. It is a brand new truck. You might have seen me painted the door and some other bits and pieces for these in the past. This one had a bit of roof damage and they weren't quite sure about the colour here and there. It just looked a bit, so just to save an argument with the customer, and obviously it's brand new, we'll just paint the side out. Everything matches, everything's fine. The dent's repaired as well. Yeah, and that should keep everybody happy then. The downside is it does take up an awful lot of my workshop, and we've got to bag the entire thing. That one's coming too, for the people that are waiting for the transporter video. That is, once we've caught up with that, I've already said I think anyway, but we've been waiting on parts, so we're about there. I will explain that on that video. These are just sort of catch-up videos if you like. Right, so I need to get this cleaned and start painting it. Right, hello, welcome back. No, in fact, this is going to carry on, isn't it? So we're bank holiday Monday, hence I'm not in uniform. But in fact, I've left that music on. 1 second. Right, turn that dribble off. But one of the perks of working for yourself is you get to work bank holidays as well, because the stuff needs to be done and out the door. So something to look forward to if you work for yourself anyway. Sometimes you need to get stuff done. It's also getting towards the end of the month. Everybody's going to want paying. So I can't really afford to lose a day. We need to make sure everything's done. And as Asheville says, we don't work in a bank, so we don't need a bank holiday, do we? No. So let's get on. So where was we last time? I think I left you. I was just about to paint the lorry. It's painted. There you can see. Alan's supervising there. Gotta keep it supervising, haven't you, mate? Hey? Hey? No? Not interested in the slightest. Yeah, so that got painted. There's too much going on. I'm up and down ladders and stuff like that, which is why I didn't film that. I could have put it on a tripod, I suppose. But you get the gist of it anyway. Compressor. Right, so the other thing we had to do was a bumper, which is what reminded me of I was supposed to be filming these. So this is a Nissan micro bumper, so it's turned up without primer on it, which is, if you know, they're a pain in the behind. So you have to make sure the mould release is off, and basically, so if you can ever buy one in primer, because it saves all of this hassle. Then you see, you just wet and wet it and paint it, or go over it if you're brave enough. So basically what I do is, some people will put these in with another job and bake them a couple of times to try and get the release agent out of them. What I tend to do is, I don't always have that luxury. I don't know where I've tidied all my things up to. Where are we? I'm back in here. So basically I use gas bottle, which I know sounds a bit crude, but it basically burns it all off, and you don't have to sort of wail on it and melt the bumper. You just need to kind of flash over it, if you like. Just work your way up, work your way back down, work your way all over, making sure you pay attention to all your edges. Same as any paint job, edges are probably the most important bit, because that's where it's going to peel initially, if it ever did down the road. And you'll see a lot of these bumpers fail, new bumpers anyway. They'll fail because they've had a bump, so the paint's fine, but it hasn't stuck because you've left the mould release on the bumper. So what you basically do is either bake it a couple of times and check it with water. So if I spray water on it and it beads up, it's got release agent on it. If I spray water on it and it just goes completely wet, then it's fine, it's clean. So basically, after torching it up and down, we use a MEPA plastic cleaning agent. My paint manufacturer put their logo over the code of it, so I can't tell you what code it is. But basically, you want a good plastic cleaner. It stinks. It's quite potent stuff. I always give that a couple of cleans anyway. Don't be stingy with it. Make sure it's really clean. Again, paying attention to your edges as well. So now we've done that, This piece in here is masked up. That's a textured piece. We'll show you on the bumper outside actually, because it'll be easier to explain that one. And we need to get the colour code as well, so I can show you that process if I can find my pen, because I haven't got my phone with me. Right, we'll show it properly. God, the bloody settings on this camera, they work perfectly in the bloody workshop. I must have to press something. But hopefully you get the idea anyway. So this is the piece I've masked up. So this is a textured grill piece. Hence the damage there. I think I've shown you this already. Hey. Right, so find the colour code. Coming out, look. Coming out. He says, good old micro. Right. Bit more finding than I guess. Where are we? Right, bonnet's already open anyway. I don't know why I didn't see that. Ah, there we go. So let's just put this up 1 second. It says anyway. Right, down here, look. What's that say? Can you tell me? That's that B53. So what we'll do is we'll go back in the paint room. Right, so as I've excuse me, as I've missed all the other processes, I think I can't remember what's on this video. So what I'll do is I'll show you the paint. So we just need, we know it's a Nissan Micra. We know the code was B53. We're going to search that. What have I done here? Have I left a gap? I have, I've left the star in there, look. Let's try again. Right, so what we've got is blue pearl metallic. Hopefully you can see that alright. We've got 8 records found at the top. And these are all the different shades. So we've got blue lighter, green lighter, that type of thing. And these over here, they correspond, hopefully you can see them, they correspond to colour chips. So the B516. So have a look at the colour chip, we want B516. That's our colour pack. And then it says B567260. 67260. So that will be the standard shade of this colour. And then what we'll do is we'll just double check the other codes on here. So we've got 17320. So that's basically where are we? Greener, lighter. Yeah. So basically we've got two shades. Hopefully they look a tiny bit different. They are the same colour. In fact they look almost identical on there. In real life they look different, so what I'll do now is I'm going to go and check the colour against the car and then pick which one of these we want, and then I'll come back and show you. Right, we're happy with standard shade. Looks like it's going to be the closest one that we've got. It is a plastic bumper as well, so generally bumpers look different anyway. And it's always an issue when you go in edge to edge, so like bumper to wing edge, that it might look a tiny bit different. Normally this Meeper's pretty good though. So what we're going to do now, I don't know if you can see that or not, we're just going to click on that one because we want that one, that shade. It's going to give us a quantity. Now I'm going to do it slightly different just to make this video a bit more, so you can understand it a bit more. So we're measuring grams. We want 350 grams, it'll make sense in a minute. There's a million tinters that go in it, which is ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on it, ready for use. So we've got 350 grams ready for use, that'll change that. We've got 20% on the thinners, reducer, we're measuring in grams, and then these are the tinters. So we're starting with T560, which would be T560. So yeah, as you can see, so basically this is like is it still on? There we go. This is like a recipe, if you like, for a colour. So all colours are mixed this way. You might not have a full scheme, you might be mixing from bottles. That's a bit close to my face, wasn't it? But it's the same principle. It relies on various things to make it, various tinters, if you like. I'm throwing this camera all over the place here. 1 second. I really should have just put the stand on it, shouldn't I? So basically we just take a liner now. I'm on a liner system here. No end of different types. Loads of people use different things. That's the one I currently use. Right, so it says here T560, 110 grams. So we give them a shake. It says right, I might need both hands. Right, we'll come back to that one. Right, hopefully it's back now. So you get all 110 in there, as you can see, 110 of blue. And then basically we go down the list. You can see on there, there's a big list. So what I'll do is I'll get that done and then I'll show you at the end. Right, so basically that's everything all in there. So that should go as soon as I've got a light to show you. Can you see the blue? I don't know if you can see it properly. Oh, there you go, you can see it now. Right, when you're doing this, for anybody that's doing it themselves, or learning, or interested, make sure you scrape all the sides, all the bottom, and give it a really good mix. Your first layer, if you like, your first main one, if that's all stuck to the side and you don't take it out or mix it thoroughly, your colour's going to be off, because it relies on that tinter, if you like, to make that colour that you've picked. So if you leave a load of white stuck to the bottom, yeah, and then you end up with a darker paint, for instance, you're going to be mardy with your paint manufacturer, and actually it was your fault because you didn't mix it properly. So always cover yourself, always make sure you mix these correctly. So I'm going to give this a good mix, get it set up in the booth, and then we're going to mix some primer, and then we can wet the bumper then. Yeah, get on with that now. Right, mainly for quickness and on brand new bumpers, we use a single K plastic filler primer, if you like. I use that wet on wet. I've only just gone onto it, to be honest with you. The last month or so, I had a couple of issues with a couple of bumpers. Figured out what it was in the end, and I've just swapped a process round. I'm one of them, if I've got that product, I like to use the whole range, and then hopefully you can eliminate as many whinges as possible then. Because unfortunately with this game, there is always a whinge somewhere along the line, whether it's me whinging or somebody else whinging about something. So you try and avoid, you do everything you can, or I do anyway, to avoid a whinge, because nobody's interested really, are they? Let's be honest, it's boring. As much as people that know me think I like to whinge, I don't, I really don't. But sometimes it's just one of them days, isn't it? So basically, I can't remember the mixing ratio of this one, but with it only being a single K product, I tend to eyeball it. I know how it should look coming out the gun, if you like, so that's what I tend to do. And to be honest, I've used this on 2 or 3 bumpers now. Because the other primer I've got, my high build that I'd normally use for wet and wetting, it's not designed, well apparently anyway, it's not designed to go over that much bare plastic. So you have to make other arrangements, if you like. So now, with enough of a scratch, if you like, if you went round that and 180'd it, made sure it was all clean, obviously, I'm pretty sure that primer will stick anyway. Just again, each to their own. No matter where you are in the country, you'll be told various things from your manufacturer that you follow, and if it works for you, carry on doing it. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying, due to previous experience on certain things, as you go along the years, you tend to not use certain things and then move on to other things. Like, best one for me is people still buy cheap body filler. It pinholes, it's horrible to sand, it's like sanding a brick surface on your house. Now for the extra tenner it costs per tin to buy some decent stuff, that sands nice, doesn't pinhole as much, you know, it's worth the £10. I mean, it might add, a tin of gobbo might add, I don't know, because you only use a little bit of it, but that might add, what, 50p per job, you know. It sped your time up. It's faster for you. So then you've saved time and money. So sorry, you've saved time, then equals money. So it actually pays you to use the better stuff. Just as an example, anyway. I still see people using that horrible cheap stuff, and you're just making it. It's like you wouldn't scrub a roasting pan with your fingers, would you? You'd use a scouring pad. So that's the same kind of principle. You just don't do it to yourself. Don't. Just don't make it harder for yourself. Try and make it as easy as possible, as less whinges as possible, and hopefully in turn you can try and turn out some decent stuff that everybody's happy with. Anyway, that's my waffle for the day. This might stay in, it might not, depending on how long the video is. If it stays in, I apologise, but it's real life. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and put the booth on. I've turned the temperature up. I'm going to run it about 30 in my booth, just purely to get it hot. I want this primer to sort of flash off, and I'll turn it back down as we go through the paint process, if you like. I have got some paperwork I need to get done, so while that's flashing off, I'll wash the gun out. I'm going to start some paperwork, and in between my layers I try and make sure I'm doing something. I don't like wandering around 10-15 minutes because it's like dead time, so I try and use that time. If I've got a phone call to make, a message to reply, I try and fill up my time like that. Try and be as efficient as you can, because otherwise you'll feel like you've got no time, and then you don't accomplish anything then, do you? So and if you add up all them flash off times over a week, there's a few hours there, isn't there? So there's a few hours that you could be doing something clean, because you don't want to be coming outside sanding Gobbo, then going back in putting your clear coat on, do you? But you know what I mean. So right, so my wet on wet, I'm going to use my GTI Old Faithful Nebulous Edition. I've had this gun for probably 8 or 9 years. It doesn't spray properly, but I've adapted to it, if that makes sense. So it works for me, and I just can't bring myself to get rid of it. I've had every new part from a demo gun put in it, and it still doesn't spray properly. So there's obviously something wrong with it somewhere. I just can't bring myself to get rid of it. It's a fantastic gun, and if anybody's starting out and you want to buy just a gun that does everything, the GTI Pros, not sponsored in the slightest, the Vilbis make them. Yeah, definitely not sponsored or anything like that, but they're just an all-round very, very good gun. They'll do pretty much anything you ask of them. Yeah, so right, I'm going to sort this out. I'm waffling back again. Right, I forgot to film putting the blue on, but you've seen the last layer of clear anyway. I'll show you again in a minute once it's flowed out properly. So yeah, basically we put the blue on. You saw us put the primer on, I think. We put the blue on. 2 layers of clear. I'm just washing out the gun now. Oh dear me, I've done all my paperwork, which is really boring, but unfortunately it needs to be done. So yeah, I'll get this washed out and I'll join you back in there. Right, we'll turn that booth off now. Do you know, I don't know if you've seen the videos before when we have a van in here. I know that looks, I think there's actually more room with a lorry in here than there is with a van in here. I don't know whether it's just because you've got the catwalk area and stuff like that, it makes it look like there's more room, but a bit weird. Right, let's have a nosy. Yeah, it's flowed out a bit more now, look. Beautiful. So what will happen is that will get demasked in the morning. We'll give it a little nib and a polish if there's anything to nib out of it. Well, we'll give it a nib is normally what we do, and then we'll get it fitted on the car and then just give it a quick polish if there is anything. Looks very clean at the minute, might be a couple of bits, but yeah, we'll get that back on the car, then that's that one done. That can go until we've finished. Right, if you like these sorts of videos, give us a like, share, subscribe, whatever it is. As you can see, we do a little bit of everything here. Some of the main videos will be coming, the MG that people are following and the transport that people are following. They are on the way. It's just you can't physically just do one job at a time. It just doesn't work like that. The job would cost a fortune for one, but 2, cash flow would be a nightmare. So you have to do your smaller stuff and then keep dropping back on your bigger stuff, or not do the bigger stuff, because not a lot of people like doing it. So, but yeah, if you like these videos, give us a like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, all that wonderful stuff. It is appreciated. Yeah, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.